Workplaces is transforming the way organizations approach and nurture their workplace culture. By putting employee engagement, well-being, and diversity at the forefront, companies can create dynamic environments where every team member has the opportunity to flourish. Our comprehensive certification process not only offers valuable, data-driven insights into your organizational culture, but also significantly enhances your employer branding, providing you with a competitive edge in attracting and retaining top talent. Imagine a workplace where employee morale soars, collaboration is second nature, and every individual feels truly valued. With Incredible Workplaces certification, you're not just earning a badge of honor, you're embarking on a journey of continuous improvement that elevates your company's culture to new heights. Join a growing community of organizations that have committed to creating extraordinary work environments. Take the first step toward transforming your workplace. Visit IncredibleWorkplaces.com today and be incredible.
Good evening, everyone who is watching us from India and those from other part of the world. Good morning and good afternoon. I welcome you to yet another episode of Culture Connect by Incredible Workplaces. It is my pleasure to bring you one another leader from the other part of the world. She's from Romania, and I have got the opportunity to personally work with her. So let me welcome Raluca to our audience. Welcome, Raluca.
Hi, hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I'm very pleased to be here. Happy to have another conversation like good old times.
Yeah, it's our pleasure, Raluca. And to our audience, Raluca is a global head of talent for an IT company called 3Pillar Global. It's a company that's spread across all over the world, has employees all over the world, including India. So that's really great. And I think we can bring some context there. Although, Raluca, we are a global organization, but majority of our audience who are going to watch this conversation will be from India. So it's a good because you already have an office here and you are pretty much aware about the culture, the work culture, and other stuff. So it's gonna be a great conversation. But before we start, would you like to share something about yourself to our audience, and then we go from there?
Sure, thank you. I've been an HR professional for 17 years plus. Time flies. For the past 13 years, I've been leading global teams. I've been part of global companies. Um, one company in business process outsourcing, and for the past 3 years, I've been part of 3Pillar, leading various HR departments, leading cross-regional projects, acquisitions, mergers, implementing programs and processes globally.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And thank you, Mohsin. I'm sure that this will be a very, very interesting conversation. And I'm sure Raluca is very famous for bringing a different perspective to the conversation. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Um, Raluca, who could have been a better choice than you for this conversation? Because the organization that you work with believes in the remote first, and you have thousands of employees across the world basically working from home. Although I know that 3Pillar has offices where people can also, if they want to, work from there. And Incredible Workplaces wants to be a thought leader in the space of the work culture. And what are the biggest element of this work culture, or the challenge, I would say, it comes when people are working in hybrid or remote work environment. Even where people are coming to office, it is a different kind of challenge in itself. But I believe, and I think many of us believe, that how can we maintain the culture when people are basically working in the remote and hybrid environment? So my first question to you is, you are the HR leader, you are the custodian of the culture, and you have the organization that believes in the remote first. What are the things as per you that you do or you would like to advise to do to build a cohesive and connective work culture even when people are not coming to offices?
Indeed, remote working and hybrid working has brought different or new challenges in the work culture. And I think maintaining the culture as I like to say it, the stickiness to the culture of the organization, it becomes more challenge when people are working remotely. I think there are, I would say, four crucial aspects that we always need to keep in mind, and they help strengthening the culture. First of all, I believe in a culture of intentional communication. I believe in over communicating, but over communicating with purpose, with clarity, and inclusivity. Obviously, there is always a thin balance between, too many emails, too many meetings. However, keeping people engaged and connected, and especially beyond the day-to-day activities, helps strengthening the culture. The second, I would say, very important point is fostering the human connect. We are social beings. While we enjoy working from home because it's more easy, we get more time with the family, we get more time for our hobbies. Still, we need that sense of belonging, and we spend 8-9 hours connected at work, and we spend them in the organization environment. It's I think it's very important to foster this human connect, but beyond the strategy meetings, beyond the day-to-day activities and discussions related to the daily topics of the business, and this can be done through virtual chats, to having different team rituals, leaders setting different team rituals. What I think and I was discussing just yesterday with one of my colleagues in the company, one of the things that we are missing since working remotely is the casual collisions, the hallway talks when you meet a colleague in the hallway and you exchange a couple of words. These casual collisions are not happening anymore in the remote environment unless they are intentional. And I think it's very important to foster these connections outside the day-to-day topics, to still make the effort to know our colleagues, to know our teams beyond, and team members beyond their work and their responsibilities. I was saying about 4 points, and I think I'm at the third one. I think it's very important to foster a culture of trust and flexibility. Working remotely, and we see many companies lately getting back to on-site, or asking people to come on site, or asking for a certain number of days to be in the office. And this, in my opinion, I think it's and what I'm hearing from colleagues around me that are working in these companies is that they feel the productivity of the team of the teams it's raising when they are coming to the office, or that they are in better control of their productivity and their performance. However, I believe in a culture of trust, in fostering trust, in fostering ownership of our teams and team members, and driving performance through clear goals and objectives, and not through monitoring the time spent in front of the computer. Funny fact, just today I was reading an article saying that there are some recent studies that are showing that there is a high percentage of employees that are faking their workload, or faking that they are very, very busy. And this number is increasing. I truly believe that when you are managing performance through clear goals and set up expectations, and you have a circle of promise and a circle of trust with your team, these kind of risks are lowered. And the fourth thing, or the fourth point that I wanted to bring, I think leadership and leaders are playing a crucial role in driving the culture, while us as talent, as HR folks, we can help enabling, but leaders, by showing up, by being role models for their teams, are playing the crucial role, and the teams will always follow those leaders.
Awesome. And so great 4 points for our audience here. One is communicate and over communicate. And I've seen it myself that it works for people to even over communicate on things, especially when we are working in a remote work environment. Also fostering the human connect is another great point. Culture of trust and flexibility and leadership. So to our audience, if you are also HR leader or even a business leader who's driving an organization where you are working remotely or hybrid, I think these are some of the key points that you have. One thing, maybe I'll just go back to the human connect part of you, Raluca, and you spoke about, sometimes small things like having a virtual setup with team, a team ritual, maybe just talking about, not about work, but anything that you want to. Any the craziest one, or the funniest one, or the one that you love the most, any such virtual setup where you did something crazy where people liked, or would you like to share with our audience that what was that one that you really loved?
There is one, and I can't take any credit for it, but I know there is one virtual event that went great in our company, actually, and it was organized with our Mexico team, who is spread across Mexico, and we wanted to have some kind of connect organized in each region for during the holidays, the winter holidays, right, in December. And my colleague from talent team organized a great connect for the people, and organizing in a remote way allowed inclusivity, because if we would have organized just in the office, only certain people could join, but it was a kind of team bonding activities with Kahoot games, with prizes on these games, and I know that the team there loved this event.
Wonderful. And I'm sure that sometimes it is also about the cultural aspect of it, considering what you love to do the most. But I have seen the value in it. Like sometimes you don't have to just come on the call and talk about agenda, but sometimes you can keep it for your team as well. And thank you very much for sharing one of the examples that you love the most. So really appreciate that. I did ask my audience to ask questions if you have any for Raluca, and I could already see that the questions have started coming. And this particular question, I don't know who the person is because I can only see LinkedIn user. But if you are the one who asked, please do share your name on the chat box so that we know who you are. But I think this question is very much connected with the question that I wanted to ask. And maybe the way I will frame this question is with the proximity bias. Many times it is felt that when it is a hybrid work culture where people are also coming to the office, it is said or it is felt that managers or leaders like those team members who are coming to office more often because they are also coming to the office and they're able to connect with them more, as opposed to a person who's working remotely but maybe equally or much better in terms of the performance. And I think you also give an example of gone are the era where you need to monitor people with the number of hours they've spent, but the quality of work they have done and the objective they have achieved is what we need to look at it. So my question is around that, and I think this question that one of our audience has asked, Kavish is the name. He just mentioned that there. So Kavish, question is around the same. The question that I want to ask is, how do you measure performances in an environment where people are not coming to offices, and what could be some great examples of recognition of those performances in your view? Would you like to share with our audience?
Sure. Great question. As I was saying, I think it's very important to shift the focus from presence to outcome when it comes to performance. And I would like to share that even prior pandemic, when people were coming mostly into the office, I've been part in a company and I was leading global teams. Obviously, part of the team was there in the location with me, but I was having team members remote. Same for the other leaders in the organization. And this bias was there also when we were working from the office. Obviously, you see, it's more easy to notice maybe things that are done by someone who is in your proximity than someone that is in another country, on another time zone. What I think it's very important for a leader, for his or her team, is to set up clear goals for the team, clear goals for them as a team, and then clear individual goals, and to monitor the achievement of those goals, to communicate clearly what are those goals, to set up clear timelines for accomplishing those objectives, and to measure deliverables impacts that the respective team member is having. If you have these clear goals, clear expectations set up, and clear deadlines, it doesn't matter where your team member is, if it's close to you or it's remotely or is in other location, because you know what they need to deliver. It's very clear by then or by when they need to deliver. And on top of it, a continuous culture, a continuous feedback culture. It is very important to drive performance with the teams. Definitely robust performance management programs in the organization with well-defined steps are supporting removing these biases, are supporting in driving performance. But it's not enough to have conversations, I don't know, quarterly, half of year, or even yearly, but you need to have, as a leader, regular check-ins with your team member to understand where they are. And there is a concept that I liked a lot. I've heard it in my juniorish years as a leader from a great coach, which is called Circle of Promise. I can tell you that it never failed in my experience, meaning that when you request something to someone, you need to establish clearly what is required and by when. Obviously, can be reiterations. The person from which you are requiring asks additional clarifications, or they might say, okay, the deadline is not realistic, but I can provide by the other deadline. Very important is to have constant this reiteration until that request is closed. And when you have this constant communication with the other party, no matter that is a team member or a stakeholder that you are working with, or when someone is requesting you something and you go back and say, okay, the deadline is not realistic, but I can provide you by that date, or something came up, I need one more day, then the trust is built and you don't feel the need to be in constant control and to watch out for that person if they are working as required or not. If I recall, there was another part of the question referring to recognition.
Correct.
Recognition programs, not only in remote environment, but also in on-site, they were always important. Recognizing performance, recognizing team members and teams that are achieving goals or they are going the extra mile is a great boost of morale, engagement of those team members, but at the same time, they are helping creating a culture of performance. Usually, it will inspire also the others other teams, other team members to try to achieve exceptional results. But what is very important in these recognition programs is to be specific for what certain individuals or teams are recognized for. What have they achieved? Just saying they did a great work, it's not enough. What does it mean, that great work? What you as an organization, what you as a leader consider it is a great work. Secondly, I think especially in the remote environment, it's even more important to have and encourage the peer-to-peer recognition. This again goes and it's supporting the human connect. My colleague helped me in sorting out something basic, saying a thank you, putting a thank you note somewhere, having a thank you all as an organization where people are showing gratitude when others are supporting in achieving their goals, creates this culture of recognition.
Yeah, awesome. And thank you very much. I think sometimes I believe that there are some philosophies that never changes and it stays the same. And you have explained it in a very simple yet powerful way. I love by the way, the circle of promise concept, and that's really, really, really good. And from the setting the clear goals to the communication to the timelines to review, I really love them. And recognition, the best part to me was to be specific when you are recognizing an individual. And I'm sure this might have helped the audience. And that's why I'm saying that sometimes we do read these things, we have seen those things, but I think the powerful impact is how do you implement those even in a remote work environment. I think that can very, very well be implemented. I have a few more questions, Raluka, but looks like my audience has many more than the list that I have prepared for you. Would you like to take some of them to begin with, or?
Sure.
Okay.
I see some great questions here.
All right, so let me take one with Mohsin on the screen, if you can see. He's basically asking for top 3 indicators that a remote team is healthy and connected. So what is your like, how do you know that your team are connected, they're healthy? What's your indicators? Would you like to share that with Mohsin?
First of all, I think communication in the team and collaboration. When I see the team members collaborating in achieving a result, that is the first indicator that the team is healthy. When I see team members jumping to support other team members that might be overwhelmed or are having limited bandwidth, because it happens from time to time, and they are jumping to support and to support the entire team in achieving the goals. These are the first signs of a healthy team. I love debates in my team. I love bringing an idea, and I love my team debating I love when my team is coming and saying, you are crazy, this idea doesn't make any sense, and they are motivating this. And I can tell you that most of the incredible things and programs that I have implemented throughout the time were coming from healthy debates with the team. And as a leader, never being afraid to accept that you are wrong or that you are going into the into the wrong direction, and and changing on the right track. In my opinion, collaboration, communication, and constant feedback. Feedback that is honest, clear, that it's shared between team members, that is coming upward to me as a leader. These are for myself, and acting on that feedback are the best ingredients.
Wow, awesome. Thank you. And I hope, Mohsin, you got the answer of your question. You asked for top 3. I think Raluca gave exactly 3 to you back. There's another question from Vibha, and I think this is the question that I also had in my list. I think both of them are pretty much connected, Raluca. But let me just try to articulate in the way what does it means. We see world changing with a lot of technology advancement that are coming, right? Everywhere you see AI coming, and you're working in IT company, you know that pretty much well. There's a lot of artificial intelligence that has started coming in our day-to-day life. Forget about organizations. I believe as an individual in our mobile or any other platform that we are using, AI has become one of the integrated part. And people are working on technology advancement as well. So I'm sure this will have an impact on the work culture. Digitalization, more remote, more hybrid, more like conversation like that we are doing right now. It has pro and cons both. In your opinion, how will that help? And if there is any technology that you see that will help to make this better than words, or how do you see that shaping in 5 to 10 years is what the question is.
Great question. And I must say that for the past couple of years, I've seen technologies coming in support of managing workforce, managing teams, and supporting talent. There are technologies already. Many companies have implemented. My previous company was having some amazing tools like chatbots, where employees manager could go and ask the frequent asked questions that we noticed as a talent that are coming on a daily basis, about policies, about procedures, on a process, which implementing them does nothing else than that helps the respective team members to get an answer quickly, fast, easy, without the need to wait for it, without the need to look who's the right person to go and ask this question. Secondly, talent team gets time to focus on meaningful activities. I'm not saying those were not meaningful, but more powerful activities. This is just one example. There are many examples, the same. AI tools that are driving pulse surveys and then offering real-time data for talent and managers on the engagement of their teams. There are AI tools that are helping recruitment teams removing biases in interviewing process. I think there is great technology that will improve the way we are working, the way we are collaborating. But at the same time, I might be repeating myself, but it's very important not to lose the H from HR, the human connect. And while people love having everything at finger point, right, in getting information, sometimes they need a human to connect, to discuss with, to coach them, to just tell and express their I don't know, frustrations or happiness at the workplace. And it's very important while we adopt all these technologies, not to remove this human connect.
Awesome. So not to forget about the human of HR. So always keep it alive. And I think you touched upon a little bit on the aspect that how AI tools can help you to still build a better culture. And I like the idea of the monotonous work can be done by maybe automation, and the real meaty work can be done by human in HR. This is one great aspect of that. But I'll tell you one thing, Raluka, is that in a couple of conversations that I was having with other HR leaders, and I was curious to know how this AI can be dangerous for the work culture. Not the AI, but the advancement in the technology can be dangerous for the work culture. And one aspect or perspective I remember very, very, very particularly is that there was a conversation about how technology is, and this was from a manufacturing company, how use of technology or advancement of technology is building a fear among employees that their job might not be safe, because now we know that at least those routine work can be done by more efficiently by the advancement of technology. Maybe then they are not needed. Of course, they can upgrade themselves and all these things are there, but there's always a fear, especially in the workforce that is maybe gone through 40s or 50s and don't want to change, or maybe doesn't have a very good educational background, and maybe their learning journey might be longer than expected. So there is a sense of fear among them. So that was one thing that I could hear. With that fear, that HR leader was actually connecting it with the culture, that this fear brings insecurity and is impacting my work culture in the organization. Now, that's one example. Do you see any such example, or would you certify this thought process on technology being also dangerous for work culture in some ways? What's your thought on that?
Definitely, I relate with this fear, and I've heard it, and it's a normal fear. And it was here also a few years back when we were talking about some, especially in automations and robots that are doing exactly what I was saying, the very basic activities. And yes, those most probably as jobs slowly or those skills will not be needed anymore. But at the same time, I truly believe that as an organization, you need to look forward and to support and upskill your workforce based on what you will require. And yes, in the companies where there are also employees. Look, you were saying in the years of 40, I'm already there, but I truly believe in continuous learning. And I think I think as an organization, if you have a culture of continuous learning, even if it's about the manufacturing, supporting employees, okay, they will not do I don't know what kind manual stuff, but they will need to monitor that tool or that automation that will do the manual stuff they were doing. And it's pretty much the same in any environment. AI is coming, is here to stay, but still also AI has, at least at the moment, its limitations, and we still need the human filter on what AI is providing or what AI is. AI will provide you with great data, great reports, but you need to put the storytelling behind those data, behind the numbers. And this most of the times comes again from the human connect.
Awesome. So looks like Raluca is all in for Human Connect. I totally understand that. Totally the point that I think all of us has perfectly understood. I know there's a lot many questions coming, Raluca. I just picked this one, but I think we have already answered it, Akash. I think Akash is trying to find out some highly impactful strategies that leader can implement to foster a genuine sense of connection and belongingness within their remote team. And I think Raluca touched upon that by saying connectivity and collaboration. I think that part is already been said. I know there is a question.
I would add something very important. Know your team members beyond the day-to-day activities, beyond their responsibilities, beyond their knowledge on the job. Know what they are passionate about. Know about their families, about their life outside work. This is creating human connectivity. This is creating human belongingness. And while we were in the office, it was easy to find out this just over a coffee break. The one thing that we can do is more intentional chats, just using the chats on that you are having in each company. Hey, how are you doing today? How is your kid? If you found out that the kid of that person is sick, or these kind of small talks and are helping and strengthening the sentiment of belongingness.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Raluca. We are just coming close to the time that we have for this LinkedIn Live. I still see some questions that are not answered. And before joining this call, Raluca did promise me that she's going to look at those questions offline. And as and when she finds some time, she's going to answer them personally. So even if your question is not answered, stay tuned. Come back to the recorded version of this on LinkedIn. And Raluca will definitely gonna find some time to reply back to those. Raluca, before we close this conversation, anything that you want to share with audience about work culture, the work culture in the remote and hybrid, or work culture in general. Any thought, any experience, any learning that you want to share?
I think that culture and work culture, it's not something that it's written on policies um, on the walls, but it's something that we have in our and we show it in our day-to-day um, activities. And I truly believe that, again, over communicating and bringing the values in front of our team members on a constantly basis, but at the same time, the culture is people. Each single individual in the company makes that culture through the way they act, they behave, and they interact um, with each other. So don't expect for someone to come and drive a great work culture. You can be that person.
Awesome. So you are the culture, right? So sometimes people think that HR is the one who's responsible for building the work culture, but you're absolutely right. Is each and everybody in the organization that is responsible for building that work culture. Thank you very much, Raluka. I know you're super busy and you still found time to come to our live show, talk to our audience, answer some question, and enlightening us on building work culture in a remote work environment. So thank you very much and really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
All right. So this was Raluka for us, everybody. And we spoke about work culture, especially in the remote work environment and hybrid environment, I would say. Great insights. And next to next Thursday, we'll be coming up back with another episode of Culture Connect with another global leader on this topic. Till then, I would say stay tuned and see you next week. Raluka, would you like to say bye to the audience?
Goodbye, good evening. Have a great evening, great day. I enjoyed a lot being here and talking and answering to questions. Thank you.
It is our pleasure. Thank you very much, Raluka, and have a good day, everyone. Bye bye.